What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, and I am back with another game from the Out of Control Community Cup. It's a small tournament that's completely community run, so very small prize pool. This isn't exactly the international. I mean, what tournament is? But anyway, these two teams, the Radiant is going to be the Divine Free Throwers. They don't have a tag, so I'm probably not going to refer to them as Divine Free Throwers that much. It's actually pretty hard to say. And the Dire is going to be oGaming. They do have the OG tag right there. And the bans coming out from them, well, all teams pretty standard, except for that Shadow Shaman. I'm assuming, because I don't know a lot about either of these teams, that the Shadow Shaman ban is something that's more of a personal preference kind of thing. They don't like playing against him, so fair enough, get rid of him. So yeah, this is a small community tournament, and it's going to be casted by me, Bullet Raptors, and Blaze Gaming? Blaze, I'll just call him Blaze. So 3 casters, lots of games, and I don't know how good these teams are. They might be really good, they might be really bad, but it should be exciting regardless. Looks like we're going to see some pretty standard stuff going on right here. We do see the Leshrac Shadow Demon pick up from OG. That is going to mean that they have a sick setup in lane. But, ooh, okay. The free throwers going to go for that Destroyer after Rubik pick. Rubik most likely, well, since they do have that hard carry now, he's going to be most likely a supporter Rubik. Not going to take a solo lane. OG would not be surprised if he gets put in solo lane, but it could be pretty dangerous if Team OG decides to match that Outworld Destroyer with the Leshrac Shadow Demon combo. Of course, they do still have a lot of flexibility as far as how they lane because, well, there's only 4 heroes guaranteed in the map right now, but it's still something to watch out for. OD and Sven, wow. Okay, so most likely we're going to see supporting play from Sven and Rubik. Sven is a hero who used to be very popular as a support hero, but I never understood why, because you only had enough mana for 1 Stormbolt. It is a guaranteed stun, so they do have those 2 guaranteed stuns in the Levitate and the Stormbolt. But he's a strength hero, so his strength gain is pretty low. He's not going to have a ton of mana, and he's, of course, melee, so you do have those weaknesses whenever you pick up Sven. But they're going to have Sven and Outworld Destroyer. I don't really know how they're going to lane this. Outward Destroyer is usually a carry hero that needs the levels as well as the farm. That's why you usually see him go mid in your pub games. Invoker is going to be another pickup by OG, so they could put Invoker to match him with the Outward Destroyer. But Outward Destroyer does a truckload of damage if you could give him farm. What does the damage is this right here. So much damage that is just... it's brutal if he manages to get up a couple of int items, get a lot of mana pool, and he also has, of course, the devastating ultimate. So this is some real old school play by the Divine Free Throwers. Outworld Destroyer used to be a much more popular pickup. Not so much anymore. He's very much outclassed by the Anti-Mage, by the Morphling, by pretty much any other carry hero. I would say that Outworld Destroyer is a very rare pickup, and there's still are people in my house, so I'm trying to cover my mic. Hopefully you're not really picking up too much of them. So a couple of, I don't want to say outdated picks from the Divine Free Throwers, but they're definitely picks that haven't really been seeing much play as of late. OG, on the other hand, going for as standard can go. Leshrac with Shadow Demon, either you could lane them together, you could split them up, you could dual lane, you could tri lane, you could do anything with those 2 heroes, and you do have a support coming out from the Shadow Demon, and a pretty much guaranteed stun and sunstrike set up with that disruption. Bans coming out now, Anti-Mage, Enigma, and Lich. So Divine Free Throwers, I'm not really sure. Usually when you ban, you want to ban a certain type of hero, and that hero is the hero that the other team is kind of lacking. Anti-Mage and Lich are kind of on the opposite sides of the spectrum. Anti-Mage being a hard carry, Lich being a hard support. The Enigma ban from the OG will prevent the free throwers from pushing and also denying them pretty big ultimate combination. That Outworld Destroyer, Sandy's Eclipse right after a black hole. It could do a lot of damage.
10 seconds remaining.
OG taking their time for the last ban. They have a ton of time. They could get... I mean, what really does they need lane control. I guess that's the only thing that
Reserve
the
tower.
free throwers need. They do have a potential solo lane from the At-Will Destroyer. They could pair him up with a support hero. It's kind of dicey as far as that goes. But Sven is a hero with little to no lane control, being a melee hero with not much mana. Rubik does have pretty decent amounts of lane control, but against the lane control coming out from OG, it's going to really be hard to match that toe for toe. Toe to toe. Go toe to toe with that. Yeah. How do you match something toe to toe? I have no idea. It is going to be the Windrunner, so they're denying the long lane.
Team pick.
You also see that in the ban of the Darkseer. So now, what are you going to do, Divine Free Throwers? They've already showed that, okay, they're going to go big.
Dire team pick.
They're going for an extreme late game strategy. Divine Free Throwers, I mean, their lane just got a lot more rough, because Drow Ranger, if you want to solo her, good luck. Dual lane is, dual and tri-lane actually work. And if the At-Will Destroyer pick was instead someone like, Renomancer,
10 seconds remain.
then I would say, okay, Divine Free Throwers have a very old school team. Back in the days of Dota 1, when you have sick Drow Ranger Medusa standoffs because they both had lifesteal and huge amounts of damage. And that was also when Sven was pretty popular, but right now they do have 2 carries, and that's going to stretch their farm a lot. They're going to be pretty farm starved and pretty experience starved. Tidehunter, so they are going to take another melee hero. It's also going to be a little bit more support oriented. Going to try to get a little bit of control over the lanes. But if you want something like that, you would probably want someone who's ranged. Right now, I think they're going to have to go 2-1-2 as far as their lanes go. Tri-lane will leave someone out to dry, and they will not be happy with the result of that. So most likely,
10 seconds.
we're going to see like a Drow Tide and Sven Rubik with an At-Will Destroyer solo. In the meantime, OG picking up the Lone Druid as well as the Chen, so their pushing lineup, their bulk is going to be absolutely huge. Their front line is going to be substantial. It's going to really be hard for the free throwers to get through that. They do have the lane control, and really they do have a team that, I mean, I could see Navi playing this team. I could also see MTW playing this team. You got Funzy, Kabap, Syndrin. Yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, it actually works very well. Alright, so on Team OG, we do have Repeat
Prepare for
playing
battle.
the Invoker, Nakomi on the Chen, Valk, just Valk, I guess, on the Shadow Demon, Knives, gonna be picking up that Lone Druid, and Towers, I think he purchased the Courier, so he's most likely gonna be going for a really strict supportless track. Gonna be helping out Shadow Demon with the support as far as that goes, and Shadow Demon, where's your money? I think he handed off wards, actually, so that's gonna be that. We're gonna see, Hellvine. I cannot like read when they're moving like that. It's Helsiv. I guess my computer is like really weird. Helsiv on the Drow Ranger with supporting Jag and the Tidehunter and Pushra Gooby. Pushra, I guess, on the Sven. So it's going to be a very weird tri-lane. That is going to mean Torchmaster is going to solo the Rubik up top. And
30
Epsilon?
seconds to
Epsilon? Playing the At-Will Destroyer. So he's going to be soloing the At-Will Destroyer mid lane. Kind of a standard thing to do. Get a lot of Astral Imprisonment, and then you drain all the intelligence out of the opponents. The problem is, Invoker doesn't really need that much mana. Once he starts casting spells several times, then it's, I mean, like, you need the mana, obviously. But in the early stages of the game, especially if he's going for Exhort, he can just right-click you down and duel you. So you can get a lot of boosted damage as far as that goes. The 2 melee supports. Just the way the lanes are playing out, they're going to be up against Solo Lone Druid. It's going to be okay for them. Lone Druid's going to try to do some pulling stuff with the Spirit Bear, but if he steps up, he's going to get absolutely massacred. Kind of like how was going to happen to Torchmaster the Rubik. A lane of Shadow Demon Leshrac, duel with a semi-tri-lane in Nakomi. Going to try to pull out a good creep, and then they could go for a level 1 kill. And the Rubik is not going to get his level 6 anytime soon, assuming the Dire plays their cards right. Let's see what Chen is actually going to get. He's going to get a Centaur right off the bat, so he's going to be happy with that. Going to clear off that, and maybe move towards an early push. Already the Shadow Demon being a little bit of a pest towards that Rubik, trading hits 1 for 1. Disruption going off there. Just going to get a little bit more damage from the illusions and the telekinesis to hold him out, but Torchmaster already taking a ton damage from just a little bit of harassment. OG Knives with that Spirit Bear pull, making sure that he gets something out of the lane. And if his creep wave remains here, then he's pretty much safe, because Sven will be unable to, well, he's unable to do anything because he got stats for level 1. I don't know why in the hell you get stats level 1 ever, because especially when you have a stun, you just get the freaking stun. Because that actually makes you useful. And you could save, like, stats will give you a little bit of health, but like 30 something health, 40 health. But 40 health will not save you as much as a 2-second stun will save you. So I don't know why people do that. I don't know why people continue to do that. The Lone Druid did get a little bit of easy farm from that pull. Of course, now what the Radiant side has to do is focus on bringing back their creep wave through the use of pulls or denies or something, so that they're over here. That would leave the Drow Ranger sitting right here, and then the creeps right here, and then they could, the Tidehunter and Sven could box out the Lone Druid from being anywhere near this area. It's just a huge dead zone for the Lone Druid, and he will get nothing. But right now, he's actually getting quite a bit, denying with his bear, getting last hits with his bear. And all the meantime, Tidehunter and Sven not really being useful at all. They're just hanging around in the wings, which is great. And now we do have a disruption. Soulcatcher setting up. OG Tower is actually going to miss the Split Earth, which means Torchmaster is going to walk out of the Sunstrike doing a lot of damage. If he did hit that Split Earth, that would have been the death of the Rubik. So he's going to be pissing himself all the way back to his base. Or no, he's actually just going to use his salve. So Rubik's freaking out. He had a near-death experience. He's not going to be happy with that. But Knives having a very easy time on this bot lane, because there's simply no pressure coming out from this tri lane. They need to be pulling, they need to be denying, and they need to be letting this Drow Ranger get the creep kills, but only 1 CS at this point in the game, and the Dire is just leading so far as the creep score goes. OD 7-0 versus 14 for 3, so yeah, OD is usually a lot more useful when there's like a Tiny on the other side, because Tiny is someone who really relies on his mana quite heavily. Invoker doesn't really need that. He's doing just fine when he's down with Intelligence, even though that is only a level 1 Astral Imprisonment. This Rubik not getting anything from this lane. The Shadow Demon is being such a pest, pressuring him back, giving towers a free lane to farm. He's going to go for a Split Earth Edict build, so that does mean that Sven can come out with a big creep and then just completely wreck the tier 1 tower. And the Radiant team can't really respond, because if their top tier tower does get pushed, either these supports have to teleport up there and try to defend that, which, I mean, with the Stormbolt, it does kind of help. Stormhammer, it's not Stormbolt anymore. Stormbolt is copyrighted, I'm sure. Or intellectual property? I should know that, but I don't. But they're going to have to either teleport up there or try to push themselves. And the pushing coming out from these heroes is extremely, extremely slow. Somehow Tidehunter's level 3 when Drow Ranger is not. So this Drow Ranger is not getting anything out of this lane. The Drow Ranger with no farm is a sad, sad Drow Ranger indeed. Tower's already sitting at 1,000 gold, so he could go for a very quick Bloodstone, getting an absolute free lane. And Repeat does have his phase boots up right now as well. With 1 point in Quas, he could cold snap the Outworld Destroyer and really put a lot of damage. And then if he manages to follow up with Sunstrike, he could potentially get a kill if he manages to land everything. It's going to be pretty difficult, but it is very possible. We still do have the Shadow Demon pressuring back that Rubik. It's only level 2. Shadow Demon is also level 2 as well, but the difference between the two teams is that Chen is also generating some income for the team as far as both gold and experience goes. So the Chen is keeping the Dire team ahead as far as experience and gold, because the tri-lane from the Radiant is not working out as well. Well, it's not working out at all. It's not doing anything, really. With the tri-lane, you want to have one of 2 goals. Protect the carry, which right now they're not doing because she's not getting any farm. There's no point in protecting her if she's not going to have anything. Or to get kills. And sometimes those two overlap. If you have like a Morphling, Shadow Demon, Venomancer tri-lane, yeah, that's going to get kills, and it's going to make sure the Morphling gets protected. Sunstrike now going to hit onto the Outworld Destroyer, and he's going to get taken down by the Invoker. Exactly what I was talking about, and there is a push on the top lane. Fade Bolt is going to try to slow him down. Rubik, what? Shadow Demon, very weak apparently. I did not even see that, but Shadow Demon definitely overstayed his welcome there. Taken down by the Rubik in exchange for a tower. I'm sure he's okay with that, but that should not have happened at all. Invoker is going to go for a drum build. He's going to try to get a lot of mobility, even though he is going for Exort. So yeah, what I was saying before, your goal of the tri-lane is to either protect or get farm or get kills. And right now, none of that is happening. I mean, like, Drow Ranger is dying, fair enough, but she's not getting anything either. And the Drow, as I said before, a Drow Ranger with no farm is a very sad Drow Ranger. So the tri-lane on the bot lane was an utter failure. The tri-lane on the top lane, they did manage to push down a tower. And although they didn't really get many kills on the Rubik, they did make sure he didn't get much. He is level 5 because of that kill. But they still denied the Rubik quite a bit. So the tri-lane on the Dire, much more of a success than that of the Radiant. Now we do see towers as well as the Shadow Demon Volk looking towards the mid lane, looking to help the Chen. Probably going to aim towards the Outworld Destroyer. It's going for Null Talismans, very early basic stuff, and 3 points Essence or oh no, Disruption and Soul Catcher to follow is going to mean the Split Earth is going to hit, and you are so dead. Outworld Destroyer going to lay down his ultimate. That's not going to do anything except for drain a little bit of mana. Outworld Destroyer takes his second death. And all the time, Knives is second as far as gold per minute goes, so he's just fine with this tri-lane. It just means there's less experience to go around for the other team. Push now onto the mid lane. Towers has picked up, Leshrac has picked up his arcane boots, so he could spam all day long. And like the retaliation push from the top lane, not fast enough. You do have Rubik who pushes okay, but Sven offers nothing. And I mean, if you want to push, go big. I don't know why Shadow Demon disrupted himself, but that happened. They do have arcane boots, so they should be fine with it. Now they're just going to take a tour of all the tier 1s. So top, mid, and now they're going to head towards the bottom. OG Knives are summoning his bear right before it dies, so good play by him. Make sure he doesn't take that health hit. Now Drow Ranger and Tidehunter have to be careful. If they stay too long, they're all going to die. Towers is going to show his face as well as the Invoker. Looks like they're all going to walk away from that alive, at least for now. They do know that there are 4 heroes at least, but there are actually 5. Chen is going to run into a whole mess of people. Stormbolt going onto the Shadow Demon. What is he going to do? He's going to self-destruct, split Earth on 2, and Towers just sitting in the middle of everything with that Edict. Going to take down 1, 2, and 3. Very easy kills for the Dire team with a 5v3. You can't really combat that, especially when Tidehunter and Sven are just... I mean, like, they're all this relative same level. I mean, actually, they're all pretty behind, which is even worse. But even if they were at the same level, they do not have that level 6 on the Tidehunter, which would have given them at least a fighting chance to get 1 kill. But instead, they just got completely cleaned up. Now Chen, with a pretty sizable creep army, 2 Dark Troll Warlords. There's going to be a lot of skeletons walking around, plus that bear, plus the Forged Spirits, plus Edict. They don't have to stop this at all. And Tidehunter with no level 6. Not going to be very useful at all. Rubik does have level 5 worth of Fade Bolt, but there goes Towers going in deep for Leshrac. Perfect Ice Wall walling off the entire enemy team. Repeat is going to walk out of this alive, and the bear is just standing on the front line. Tower gets self-destructed by his friendly, and this looks like the Rubik is going to be the first one to fall from a Split Earth. Entangle now onto the Sven. He's going to pop his magic stick charges, and the Stormbolt is going to hit Towers as well as Repeat. Towers going to land a Split Earth right before he goes down, and he might walk away from this. Repeat is very low as well, but they're both actually going to get out of this alive after picking up 2 kills. This Tower does live, but I'm sure they're okay with that, taking 2 free kills. And now Tidehunter going to run to a whole mess of people. He's going to get disrupted. There's no real opportunity for Soul Catcher. It's going to lash onto a creep, so not onto the Tidehunter. We do have the Outworld Destroyer just standing his ground, trying to do as much damage as he can. He does do quite a bit of damage, but he did get entangled, so he's not able to chase this Chen. Outworld Destroyer, see, even though he does a lot of damage, he's so very soft. 500 HP only right now. They could have just turned around and killed him if they wanted to be, like, daring. Lone Druid, 3,000 gold at 10 minutes in. That's going to be a 15-minute Radiance, I believe. Something like 12-minute Relic if he keeps farming and doesn't die right now. But all 5 from the Radiant are now going to gank him. Knives, you got to be careful. You have no boots on your main hero. And what the Shadow Demon has to do right now is sacrifice himself to try to get Lone Druid some space, but he does have a level 1 true form, so he's going to be very tanky. I don't think it's going to be tanky enough, however. Telekinesis is going to stun him. Fable and Hand of God are going to fly out, but Knives is going to die, losing 200 gold there. Now the Shadow Demon and Invoker might be in a little bit of trouble. Is there a Gush from the Tidehunter? He's not level 6 yet, and he's out of mana, so there's no Gush. Shadow Demon trying to juke into the trees, and it actually is going to work. And two other dire heroes trying to make something happen, but that's also going to be ultimately unsuccessful. And he managed to completely juke out the Radiant side until he gets spotted by Torchmaster. No, that was actually not. That didn't happen at all. Shadow Demon very scared right now, but he is very safe as well. If he just walks out, he'll be perfectly fine. Everyone from the Radiant side is away. Shadow Demon probably just waiting until all the Radiant heroes are accounted for. Gonna place a ward in the meantime. Now that he does see 5 heroes from the Radiant, he's gonna walk out of there. Sunstrike gonna actually hit only on the Outworld Destroyer. I don't know how the hell that happened. Helm of Iron Will. The only thing would be a Veil of Discord. Let's actually pull that up right now so I could illustrate my point. I mean, there you go. It does have, like... okay, Veil of Discord is not a first item. It increases the magic damage that you take, but when you're not dealing that much magic damage, it's ultimately not worth it. This is the only thing that does magical damage. This does pure, and the magic damage coming out from his team is not as much as other teams. Leshrac, with the Edict taking down that tower, he does have a soul booster at this point if he wants to disassemble his arcanes, which he shouldn't really. Push on the mid lane might do a little bit to this tower, and Repeat could be in a little bit dangerous as well. The Cold Snap got stolen. The Fade Bolt isn't enough to kill, and Torchmaster to take up that tower exchange. Oh no, Shadow Demon, what the hell are you doing there? He did self-destruct, and a Split Earth is going to hit on the Sven. Tower's going to get telekinesed up, and Sven can get right-click down by Knives at last right-click, and now the Outworld Destroyer is the next fall. Torchmaster with this curse on him is going to walk away. But you don't want to get Veil as a first item because you won't be doing any damage. If you have a full 5v5, 5-man intelligence nuker side, like, you know, Zeus, Tiny, Lena, all that good stuff, then maybe. But right now, not on the OD, because what you need on OD is intelligence and mana. And if you could get both and want the same item, which usually you can't because intelligence does give mana, then that's great. But right now, you do not need small jumps in intelligence. You need big jumps in intelligence. You want to get Staffs of Wizardry, you want to get Mystic Staves, or any items that use those as components, and that's something that the Veil of Discord simply won't offer. It will make his allies do a little more damage, but when Sven's magic damage is very limited, Tidehunter's magic damage is very limited, Rubik is kind of limited based on what he could steal. Drow Ranger has none. It could be pretty rough, and we are seeing the Dire, all 5 of them, leading the way as far as gold per minute goes. That is not what I wanted to press at all. R and U, I gotta get used to that. Chen and Shadow Demon are not really keeping up as far as experience goes, which you can't really always expect to be ahead as far as experience and gold. And Invoker sniping down the Tidehunter with a Sunstrike. I don't know why the Tidehunter was so weak. There was no one in the mid lane. He must have been tanking creeps or something. I don't know what that was about. The Invoker is going to go for a very fast build. And with that, he's going to try to get up to max movement speed, but with no Wex, it's going to be very difficult to actually get that fast, but he's still going to get as much movement speed as you can. The more mobility you have as Invoker, the longer you stay alive. Push now into the bot lane. 2 more Troll Warlords. What is this luck from Chen? And just swamp the towers and skeletons. Sunstrike now going to go out, not hit anyone. Cold Snap onto the Tidehunter, but he gets disrupted. He's going to walk out of this alive. He does have his Ravage now. Bear's going to stun a whole bunch of people. And I don't know why Sven is tanking up so many units. He's now in a little bit of danger. Chen wants to nuke him for the kill, but he's a little bit overextended. He gets silenced by the Drow Ranger, and he does get slowed down. Is there a Stormbolt from Sven? Yes, there is, but he did pop his mech, and he's going to be fine. The tower is at 500 HP, 400 now, and there's disruption now onto the Drow Ranger. She's not going to get entangled, but she does get cold snapped, and another Hand of God going to come from Chen, keeping everyone very healthy. 3 are down for the Radiant side. Now perfect Ice Wall once again by Repeat. He's going to hold out the retreat from Rubik. We did steal the Ice Wall, but it doesn't matter because you're dead. Disrupting now on the side. I'm just going to hold him out, and that is going to mean a Ract in favor of the Radiant with their very heavy pushing. Lone Druid and Chen, not to mention Leshrac, going to tear down everything. Sven does have his God Strength, but it actually doesn't get purged off anymore. It used to. But he's just going to get wailed on by the bear with the Sacred Relic. Chen with the Test of Faith. And Sven failed. I actually don't know how someone as devout as Sven failed something like that, but he did, so he's got to work on it. But Rax has gone down, and top lane Towers has picked up most of the lane. He's going to be pushing in towards the base, and with the Radiance on the bear, there's simply nothing that the Radiant team can do. We're going to try to bring down this bear, but by the time they do, it's definitely going to be in at least 45 seconds to a minute. They could even transition up to the top lane or to the mid lane tower. Let's see what you actually manage to get Battle Cry. That's not useful at all. But Entangle now onto the Tidehunter. Ice Wall forced to pop off the Ravage. It is going to hit everyone. And Stormbolt is going to take out the Shadow Demon. But the bear is still on the front lines. Deafening Blast going to go through, doing a lot of damage to the Radiant team. Tangles from the Radiance burn from the bear is going to take another kill for Chen. 17 for 4. And once again, the people in my house, so I apologize if there's a lot of noise. But 17 for 4, it's looking very bad for the Radiant team. They do have the late game to actually come back from this, but they don't have the setup to come back from this. They don't have enough farm, they don't have enough experience. Shadow Demon, I don't know what you're doing all the way down there. You shouldn't really be down there. Oh, he's only level 6. Okay, so he got shafted, I guess, as far as the experience goes, but either way, the gold per minute is the entire story of the game. Barely any on the Radiant. Oh, now Deafening Blast is going to hit Helsiv. He's going to try to run away. Radiance Burn might kill him. Torchmaster is getting in the middle of everyone. Just gets pawed down by the bear. The bear now going to work on the Outworld Destroyer. Tidehunter in the middle of everything. God Strength popped off by Sven. Trying to do a little damage to the Chen, but it's not going to be enough. Chen just standing his ground. Now Tidehunter is on the run, and he's going to get burned down by the bear. No, actually Invoker is going to pick up that kill. And Sunstrike perfect onto the Outworld Destroyer, picking up a double kill for him. Drought Ranger is the only one to survive from that. All the while, Tower is not even in the fight. Picked up his Bloodstone and kept his Arcane Boots intact. So he can keep spamming those spells, but then Bloodstone, you don't really have to worry about mana. And then the Hand of God coming out from Nakomi, and that is going to mean the Tier 3 tower is going to fall down. Oh no, Eul's Scepter, and a perfect Ice Wall. Torchmaster is slow to a crawl, going to have a rock dropped on his head. Monster kill for the Invoker as he gets another kill. This tower is going to go down. And the Rax are soon to follow. Mech popping off. Is there Ravage? No, not for another 40 seconds. Sven only level 6. The levels from the Radiant just simply aren't enough. Tower is on the top lane. He's been farming this entire time. He's very, very tanky. He's been doing a lot of damage with that Edict. Radiant team's just going to try to catch up with him. They do land a Gush, but I don't think they could follow up. Tower is going to split Earth, but misses. It's no big deal because he has a Bloodstone and Arcane Boots. Tower has gone down, but the Raxes are still there. The problem is, however, bot lane, it's continuously being pushed, and the heroes that the Radiant side has, they're not capable of pushing them back fast enough. Outworld Destroyer is going to get disrupted and cursed. Actually, the curse going onto Sven. The bear is just sitting there doing as much damage as he can with that demonic purge that is probably going to pop the Outworld Destroyer. No, he actually Astral imprisons himself at the last moment. Beautiful play by him. Unfortunately, I don't think that'll change the flow of the game. The bear sitting on the front lines with that Radiance could get resummoned at any minute. Actually, in 20 seconds. Ravage coming out from the Tidehunter, hitting everyone, but there's simply no follow-up. Helsiv is trying to do what he can, but he doesn't have anything. Split Earth is going to mean his death from Chen. Torchmaster going to steal the Pulse Nova, but you don't have enough mana for that. You only have 600 mana. Sunstrike hitting perfectly on the Rubik. And 4 to 25, a second set of racks is going to go down to the might of this bear and Edict. Vlad's has also been picked up by... Did I see Vlad's? Yeah, Vlad's on the Chen. That means the second Rax is going to go down. The third Rax is soon to follow. And the Radiant just getting rolled over. Disruption and Curse onto Sven, I believe. Yes, he's going to get worked down by this bear. Bear so much damage. He might take a fall. No, Demonic Purge onto the Outward Destroyer. Forced to use that Astral Imprisonment on himself. Going to buy himself a little bit of time, but he's going to die anyway. And Knives just resummons his bear, sends him into the fountain because why not? They're also Knives just wants to take a bath in the enemy fountain. Not going to happen. He's going to take a fall. But the Invoker just unleashing everything he could possibly unleash. Picked up an Aghanim Scepter. Sunstrike not going to hit anything. He's just throwing out spells for shits and giggles. They might actually get the spells. Curse onto Helsiv and Ice Wall preventing his escape. Stormbolt's going to possibly save his life, but the EMP, not enough. EMP actually taking down Rubik, of all people. And the fountain farming is in full effect. The third set of Raxes have gone down to the constant flow of creeps. And that is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. There is absolutely nothing the Radiant can do being this far behind in kills, being this far behind in experience, having no creep clearing abilities, they're absolutely done. Like, Sven doesn't have any cleave. That's really their only chance. A farmed Sven with cleave. But unfortunately it's not in the cards. Cold Snap and Demonic Purge can land on the OD, and he's going to take another fall. Beyond Godlike streak for Chen. What is your score, man? 1109. Orchid Malevolence. He's rich. And an Ice Wall is going to prevent them from leaving their base. Towers are slowly getting worked over. Telekinesis is going to stun, and lightning flying through, but there's not enough healing. The fountain is not doing its job enough. Sven, Chen, I mean, 26 HP. He's going to get nailed by the Storm Bolt. Rubik is going to get a lot of gold from that, but it doesn't matter. There's the GG call from the Radiant side, so the Dire team, they're going to go 1-0 in this round robin format. They're just fighting for shits and giggles now. This Leshrac will pretty much respawn instantly. Yeah, there you go. Instant respawn by him. And there's the game. The Ancient has fallen. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're watching this live, check out my YouTube channel. I have everything there. Also, check out the other casters, Lola Raptors, as well as Blaze. Blaze isn't casting today, but he will be casting in future days. So give this tournament the support that it requires and deserves. And if you're watching this from my YouTube channel, then this is being live casted, so that's why I'm explaining all that. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I will be back tomorrow casting another, hopefully good set of games. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.